All right, so I think I'm live. All right, so this is I guess the third video of me fumbling my way through the Gatsby docs and just kind of learning about it and attempting, or I guess with the goal in mind of rewriting my personal site, jcheight.com, in Gatsby, and possibly also, or probably definitely consuming my WordPress site as just an API, so I can still write my posts in WordPress if I want to, or at minimum I can fetch them from WordPress and then maybe start writing my new posts in Markdown. I don't know. Either way, it'd be fun just to hook it up and at minimum migrate the old posts over. So, if you're wondering why I look like this, it's because I just got back from a Halloween party. I am Burt Macklin. If you haven't seen Parks and Recreation, then this will make no sense to you, but I'm Burt Macklin, and I won, I forget which prize, but I got this awesome mug of Martin Luther from the Reformation that says, "Nailed it." So pretty excited about that. And no beer tonight. I know I normally have had a beer, but I'm tapering off because I have to start my new diet on Monday. So yeah. All right, so I'm gonna dive in here where I left off last night, which was pretty much I made it through this first section of the Gatsby tutorial, and I'm going to move on now to introduction to using CSS. Let's see. I don't really know if I need to look at this at the moment. Let's see, what are Gatsby plugins? Alright. You're probably familiar with the idea of plugins, many software systems. Also, here's a disclaimer. If you're watching this for answers, or you're trying to learn something specific and you're on a time crunch, you should not be watching this. I'm literally live streaming myself learning about Gatsby, and I'm going to live stream just the process I'm going through of learning it and converting my site into to use Gatsby. So if you are trying to learn something, please don't waste your time watching me. Or if you're trying to learn something in a pinch, if you want to like watch me and learn just how someone else thinks through this stuff and learns and stuff, then keep watching. Anyway, all right, so we have these plugins, and this FBI jacket is super hot, so I'm gonna get that off because I'm not sure where I get that on. All right. All right, so our goal, let's see. Our goal with Gatsby plugins is make them straightforward to install and use. In almost every Gatsby site you build, you'll be installing plugins. Okay. Working through the rest of the tutorial, you'll have many opportunities to practice installing and using plugins. All right, what kind of plugins do we have? Welcome to the Gatsby plugin library. Ooh, wow. Okay, helmet. Let's see. Page creator. Interesting. Wait, what is this? Pretty sure the starter that I'm using actually has that. Where would I find that? Here? Let's see. Yep, we have React Helmet in here. I'll get rid of this terminal. We have Transformer Sharp. We have Plugin Sharp. We have Plugin Offline. Okay, I guess we don't have that one, but we do have the helmet one. File system. Creating file nodes from file system. Okay. All kinds of stuff in here. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to come back to that later. Alright, what else? Okay, so I might come back to some of this. Let's see what else we got here. Let me just play with this for a second. Like I said, I don't really have a method to this at the moment, so I really at this point need to think through what I'm actually trying to do. Let's just check out this GraphQL interface too. I am not super familiar with GraphQL yet. I understand the concept, but haven't had a lot of opportunity with any of my projects or my day job to actually dig into it. So let's see what we got here. Can query all site page. So how does this work? So is it like query all site page, and then query what's in the all site page? What happens if I just query that? Expected name. What are edges? Oh, okay. I have no idea what an edge is, but oh, okay, so I can drill down further here. And this gives me a node, next, and previous. The node has an ID. Oh, okay, cool. So I'm assuming if I said I also wanted path and component. Oh, okay. Cool. What is would be a parent, right? Is that only for nested pages? Yeah, okay. So what if I come back and make like a folder here? Test. Let's move butts into test. All right, what do we have here? Oh yeah, broke something here. Components layouts. Where's butts? Oh, it's actually in here. Yeah, whoops. Just there we go. Right, there we go. So does that mean now I'll have a parent for butts? No? Okay, that's not what I expected. So what if I'm assuming I don't have to restart. It might not be anything, maybe parent doesn't have anything to do with that, but just being curious here. Okay, so refresh. I'm just going to copy and paste this in case it doesn't persist. Oh, okay, it does persist. All right, so yeah, that's not what parent means apparently. Apparently, huh? All right, and Can just delete this. All right. Cool. So what other types of queries do I have? Let's see. All site plugins, all file, image, site page, site plugins, site. There's a metadata. What is that? Let's check that out. All right, so let's say we want site, or what was it? Interesting. Okay, how does that work? What is the error here? Unexpected name site. Okay. Oh, is it because I didn't have curly braces? Yep. So site metadata. Oh no. What does that give me? Okay. Cool. So what else can you get? Oh, it's just title. Okay. I guess it told me that. If I go back and click on it, I think it said that's pretty much all here. Yeah, title. Cool. Alright, so it's a little bit of GraphQL, I guess. Just kind of messing around with it so I can understand a little bit about it. Oh, that's nice. Keeps a history for you and everything. That's cool. Alright, so this is a pretty cool tool. Graphical. Alright. So I guess I should think a little bit about, actually before I think about that, let me take a little stroll through the code base real quick. Because I can keep going through the docs, but I know that's super boring for you guys, or if anyone's watching this, I know it's probably super boring to watch. And honestly, like, I might do better if I dig into the repo a little bit and actually start writing a little code. I do still want to finish the docs, so like these are really good docs. Especially these, like 4 through 8 seem to be pretty important sections. Alright, so let's see what we got here. We have the README. It's probably actually maybe a good thing to look at here. Let's look at a preview of this. Alright. Yeah, we've done that. I actually read these docs the other day. I think I was looking for some PRs to make for Oktoberfest. So I read through a lot of docs in Gatsby, just kind of skimming for typos, something that I might be able to fix. Alright, so I know what node modules are. I know what source is. I know what gitignore is. I know what a prettier config is. Alright, Gatsby browser. This file is where Gatsby expects to find any usage of the Gatsby browser APIs, if any. These allow customization and extension of default Gatsby settings affecting the browser. What is a browser API in Gatsby? On initial client render, on post prefetch pathway. Oh, okay, so these are like little hooks for, I guess, different page life cycles. Where was register search? Called when Gatsby browser runtime first starts. Okay, so that's Gatsby browser. Let's take a look at that. So there's nothing here, but just for giggles, let's see, exports dot on client entry equals an arrow function. That's all you have to do. Yeah, let's client entered yo. Let's try it out. Do I get a console message? Oh, yep, there it is. Interesting. Okay, wait. Let's refresh. Yeah, right there. Okay. Cool. What else can we do? We have should update scroll. Allow a plugin to decide if the scroll position should update or not. Oh, wait a second. Okay. I wonder if you could hook into that. I wonder if it'd be possible to hook into that to do like a smooth scroll in between page transitions or something like that. I don't know. I know that was a limitation of like smooth scroll libraries back in like jQuery days and stuff. It was still really difficult to try to do any kind of scrolling, which I guess we might have solved that already in SPA times, but I've never really had to do anything like that. What else can I mess with here? Oh, on route update. Called when the user changes routes. Okay, cool. So let's. Oh, cool. Yeah, and they're just using like an example from Google Analytics. It's actually a pretty common use. Let's. What all props do you get? You get a location and an action. Let's just console log props. So location, action, console.table the location, and we'll console.table the action. Alright, so didn't actually change routes though. I mean, well, I guess maybe technically I did. Just didn't know it. So I'm getting in this case I'm getting a location. I'm just not getting an action because I didn't actually take any sort of action. So if I actually clicked on something, now I go location and oh, actually I did get an action. It was just down here, or maybe not. Honestly, I'm not sure. Okay, but I did get an action on that one. And what do I have in here? I'm curious what action.relib will do. Oh. So let's just console that like that. Just curious to see. Alright, so it really doesn't. I have no idea what I'm doing. If anyone was curious, and then was just happened to start watching, I have no idea what I'm doing. Just kind of fumbling around. Alright, so browser APIs. I get the gist of it. There's some a few hooks here that I can do. Cool. Alright, moving on to the next part of that README. Actually, I should go ahead and probably take these out. Alright. Next, I have the Gatsby config. This is the main configuration file for a Gatsby site. This is where you can specify information about your site, like metadata, like the site title and description, which Gatsby plugins you'd like to include, etc. Check out the config docs. Alright. Let's look at the config docs. Site configuration options for a Gatsby site are placed in a file to root to the project folder. There are many sample configs which may be helpful for reference. Oh wow. Gatsby Gram. Using Redux. Gatsby config. Okay. And what about Motion? Got metadata, plugins, uses. So that's pretty much literally what it does. Maybe nothing else. Just metadata and plugins. Guess the docs will tell me. Just look at the docs. Oh, yep, there we go. Metadata, plugins, path prefix, polyfill, mapping, proxy, development aware. Okay. So let's start there. This is simple enough to get up and going. Not sure why this is showing. No, I didn't modify it. So Gatsby config. So just gonna take some of this out. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. All right. So I can go ahead and change this to JC Hyatt. We can change this to jchyatt.com and description. What do I say? Oh yeah, I'm a tool, so I say I build stuff for screens and lift heavy objects. So I'm just gonna stick with my little tool description and lift heavy objects. All right. Maybe a little silly, but I'm gonna commit that. Add site to data. Okay. Next. This way you can store it in one place, pull it from wherever you need it. If you ever need info, you only have to change it here. If you ever need update info, you only have to change it here. Right. See a fuller description and sample usage here. I don't see it. Data. I don't actually see description. I'm not that concerned with it right now. Plugins are Node.js packages that implement Gatsby APIs. The config file accepts an array of plugins. Some plugins may need only to be listed by name, while others may take options. See the docs for individual plugins. So, what kind of plugins would I want though? I think I probably want some sort of, let me just see if they have anything that kind of like reads from WordPress or anything out of the box that I could always just like fetch the data. I was just curious. Gatsby source plugin. Oh, okay. Well, that seems perfect. Pulls data from self-hosted WordPress sites hosted on WordPress.com or WordPress.org. Probably should fix that a little bit better because self-hosted. I don't think WordPress.com is self-hosted. That's kind of the definition of not self-hosted, but that's okay. Should work with any number of article and post. Got a couple of little typos here. Let's go ahead and fix them. Can I edit this file? Yes. Source plugin for pulling data into Gatsby. So we will just figure if I'm already in there, I might as well make the little typo fixes. An example site for this plugin is available. Here's the demo. Okay, pulls data from self-hosted WordPress sites. I think what they're trying to say is it works with WordPress.com or self-hosted WordPress sites because you don't really host on WordPress.org. So, come back to that in a second. Can authenticate to WordPress.com API using OAuth 2. So media can be queried. Easily create responsive images in Gatsby from WordPress images. See image processing section. Cool. Okay. This module currently pulls from WordPress the following entities. All entities are supported. Posts, pages, tags, categories, media, types, users, statuses, taxonomy, site metadata. Any new entity should be pulled as long the IDs are correct. Alright, so yeah, we got a few typos here, so let's fix them up. Alright, so we got pulls data from, I'm going to suggest this, I'm going to assume that this is what they meant. Pulls data from we'll say self-hosted WordPress sites or sites hosted on WordPress.com. We'll just say that. And just go ahead and add a link there. Should work with any number of articles and posts, which, well, kind of sounds like the same thing, but in WordPress world, really isn't, because it really depends. A post in WordPress, it could be anything actually, because just of the domain-specific language they use. Post could be just any sort of object. The way the WordPress database is structured is it's just a post table, even if you put custom post types in there. So I've made custom post types for like staff before, if I want to like have a staff page to where you can like add a person or something. So post means something a little broader in WordPress world, but in terms of readability here, especially for people who may or may not be familiar with all that, I would maybe just say should work with any number of posts. In my opinion, that's a bit more readable. Can authenticate to WordPress.com's API using OAuth 2, so media can be queried. Okay. Easily create responsive images in Gatsby from WordPress images. Okay. This module currently pulls from WordPress. Let's also improve this. So this module currently pulls the following entities from WordPress. I think that's probably a little more readable. All entities are supported. Post pages, blah, blah, blah. Any new entity should be pulled as long as the IDs are correct. ACF entities, events, custom fields. That's awesome. Custom post types, any type you could have declared using WordPress's functions.php. This is pretty thorough. All right. We welcome PRs, adding support for data from other plugins. Cool. So I definitely think that I might want to use this. I should star this. I will actually. Let's commit real quick. Fix typos and improve readability. Of this commit fixes typos and improves a few minor typos and improves readability of the Gatsby source WordPress source WordPress plugin. Propose file change. That's not really my email anymore, but whatever. Great. All right, there's a PR. Cool, so this is awesome, and I think I should definitely use this. So I'll circle back around to that, but for now, I'm going to copy this URL, and I'm just going to put it in this little catch-all here. Plugins. Gatsby source WordPress. Okay. And next, path prefix. It's common for sites to be hosted somewhere other than the root of their domain. Say we have a Gatsby site at example.com/blog, and in this case, we would need prefix a /blog added to all paths on the site. Oh yeah, that would have been super. Like something like this would have been really helpful actually in at work recently. All right. Anyway, well, I don't need that because all my stuff is my site is just going to be Gatsby. At the root. Polyfill. Gatsby uses the ES6 promise API. Because some browsers don't support this, Gatsby includes promise polyfill by default. If you'd like to provide your own promise polyfill, you can set polyfill to false. Oh yes, let's learn about browser support in Gatsby. That seems important. Not as important for me maybe, but I'd still like to know. Let's see. I'm on my screen that you can't see. All right. Cool. All right. So, let's see. So polyfills. Gatsby leverages Babel 7's ability to automatically add polyfills for target browsers. I think it's probably a good place for me to get off for the night. It's been 34 minutes, 35 minutes. I have some other things to do. So I have made a little progress just in reading through some of the docs. I'm going to make some notes for myself here of like what I was doing. So I started off going through the README, and I made it to Gatsby config. So where I left off, I started reading through README, read, dove into Gatsby config, and that led me to led me here, and that has so far led me here. And I'll just work my way back up. And this is probably closer to where I actually want to be. So I'm going to say this is where I actually left off on that page. All right, so there we go. There's where I left off. So still nothing really to show. Still in the research. Probably still going to be in the research phase for a little bit. Especially if I'm only working on it for 20 to 30 minutes at a time. But got a little bit done, a little bit read, and most part is I learned something. All right, I think that's going to do it for the night.